Hello, welcome to a speedrun of Papers, Please. Why a speedrun of Papers, Please, you might wonder, but it's day one, so let's have a look at that first. Day one, like many of the days, is a fixed length, so all I was focused on here is just earning as much money as possible, and it's the easiest day because we just let in anyone who starts getting native, and everyone else can go away. There are some entrants that are scripted in this day, and I know for a fact that I can let in the first guy and turn away the next two, but it's simple enough. Obviously you can tell just by the colour of the passports on day one. Just a little trick until I can afford the upgrade to the stamping mechanism. If you click it too soon, it sort of goes back again when they arrive on the booth. So yeah, this in itself isn't very interesting. So reason I decided to do a speedrun for this game is purely because I couldn't. There didn't seem to be any already there, so I thought maybe someone needs to just kind of get the ball rolling. I don't consider myself a speedrunner, and I don't consider this a particularly good speedrun, but maybe it will alert people to the fact that this is a game you can sort of speedrun. It doesn't make a lot of sense on the face of it, because most of the days, this day is just a fixed length, and you can't do it any quicker. But there are days where that's not the case. You can get through faster than normal, depending on how you play it. Oh good, it's nearly the end of the day, because day two is a bit more interesting, honestly. So I think I processed about 20 people. Oh, no. 18. Day one is very short. I didn't realise until I made this video, not all the days are the same length. So, day two, there is a scripted attack after 6 entrants, and I know that I can pass the first person, deny the second, and pass the fourth and the sixth. So I've just got to worry about the other ones, and if I get them wrong, it's not such a huge deal, because you don't lose money on the first couple of citations. So yeah, I've got that one wrong, but who cares? I'm focused on just waving them through, basically, so this attack will arrive. So here they're on the picture, shouldn't have let him through. Slowing the whole thing down by talking. Very annoying. So yes, everything's right on cue. I'll start to go finest through their paces and finding them wanting. So that's the end of day 2. It's shorter than day 1. Now, I should warn you, the next 3 days are all full length. So, you might want to skip to day 6. It starts at 26 minutes, 17 seconds. But if you really want to watch the rest of this, chat about it a bit. Yeah, I denied that first guy, which I shouldn't have done. I had to sort of I went through all the days on the wiki and made myself a sort of spreadsheet, made myself a little sort of cheat sheet, so I know for each day which one's a scripted entrance. My concern was, I didn't do a practice run for this or anything, my concern was I didn't know whether I'd have enough money to make it through. I was a bit focused on sort of trying to make as much money as possible on the days where there's no attack. And I think where I failed on this one was I didn't then take advantage of that enough on the days with randomly generated attacks. But we'll come to that. So yeah, there are a couple of videos online. There's not a, I don't think there's a pure speedrun. There's a 100% accuracy run, which is obviously much more impressive. Oh, here he is, Georgie, slowing me down with his lack of passport. I think I've got him on the. I think I wrote him down on the cheat sheet as whether or not to deny him, but it's obvious, really. And in fact, I deny the old double stamp. Always handy if you realise you've made a mistake passing someone, approving them. You can just stick a nice stamp on there as well and send them on their merry way. So yeah, if you played the game, you'll know there's a bit of a storyline with the old guy there, Georgie, who keeps coming with invalid paperwork. Eventually he comes with valid paperwork and you can let him in, but I still turned him away on this playthrough for reasons. So yes, the 100% accuracy run that exists is I've not watched through it, but I skipped to the end, as people may well probably do for this video, and yeah, it seems legit, but takes quite a bit longer than this video, because that's probably being accurate. You don't get any bonus coming through. And the only other speedrun video I could find was a sort of a joke one. An any percent speedrun, which all they did was get all the entries wrong on the first day to get enough citations that you go into debt, and that's game over. But it's technically that's an ending. You finish the game. So I decided to go for ending 20. I suppose you can do a speedrun of any of the. I feel a legitimate speedrun is to do any of the good endings. So probably the quickest one would be ending 18, where you escape to Abristan with all members of your family, because you can do that. You can do that before day 31. I'll ignore that. Don't you hear that? Testing the fire alarms. Annoying. So yes, we're still on day 3, aren't we? There's yeah, five out of the first 6 entrants in day 3 are scripted, so that's sort of guaranteed money in the bank, unless you get them wrong anyway, like I did with the first one. But I guess I was still getting used to the unique system. This is fairly simple. I'm just checking. Ah, yeah, straight off you can see his photos wrong. The main thing you got to remember is the first, quite a lot of the game, you don't have to justify turning. Well, there has to be a reason for turning someone away, but you don't have to say what it is. Just as soon as you see something wrong, you just turn them out. Don't ask them. Even if there may be a valid reason, even if quite often they've got the paperwork with them, they've just forgotten to give it to you. Well, that's their problem, and they need to leave. So this is basically sort of a irritating job's worth run. Yeah, I was doing the old alternating on the food and heat on alternate days, which may not be aware of as a sort of bit of a metagaming technique. Once you realise that you don't have to feed your family every day and they'll still survive. But again, I don't know whether it was the best. I don't know whether it was the best strategy, because it takes extra time waiting for the options to come up. And you don't save that much money. And I was concerned that I might run up a lot of citations later in the game and start running out of money. But as it turned out, I ended up with quite a lot of money left over, and I could have. I think I needed to play through it as carefully as I did. So how are we doing? We're on day 4. Okay. So looking at the spreadsheet, we know for a fact we can. Oh, it looks like I've just tried in vain to. Oh, that's interesting. So I denied them. Thought I should have passed them. So I put a pass stamp on, even though I knew that wouldn't let them through. But then it turned out I should have denied them anyway, so all's well. So yeah, entrance 7 is scripted. I know straight off. A bit like deny him? Yes. Doesn't even look at it. What a pro. This guy again. Holding up the line as well with his chit chat. Just lucky it's a fixed length day. So yeah, the day lengths, for some reason it didn't occur to me until now to wonder, why is it that I can only, like on a good day, like on the best sort of type of day, I can process maybe 20 if I'm really on a roll. So the question is, how come on day 1 I'm still only barely managing 20, and all I have to do is look at what nationality the passport is, and it turns out all the days are different lengths. I can't see anything online about this. But again, maybe I'm not looking in the right place. Maybe there are speedruns of this game that I'm not looking in the right place for. So yeah, day 1 is 3 minutes long. Day 2 is 4 minutes, or it would be 4 minutes if you let the clock run all the way around. Day 3, 6 minutes. And then, as far as I can tell, from day 4 up to day 12, they're all 7 minutes, and then for the rest of the game the days are 8 minutes. So if you think this part of the playthrough is dragging, just wait and see. So I'm not sure how thorough I'm being here. I mean, I've had 2 citations already, so I want to be a bit careful. Sometimes I'd get stuck in sort of, you get a few days in a row where you really want to be quick, and then I'd get a day where there's not going to be an attack, and so I'm just going to run for the full however many minutes, and I'd sort of have difficulty getting out of speedrun mode. And I'd be sort of waving people through without checking the paperwork properly, and not a good strategy. So we see, even though there's already so much more stuff to look at, I've already processed more people than I did on day 1. Getting citations there, so that's... The first 2 citations, they're not so bad. It's sort of, oh well, I kind of wasted my time processing that person because I don't get any money for it, but then beyond that, it starts getting demoralising. It's like, not only do I not get any money for that, but I'm basically having to give back the money I earn from another person. More haste, less speed. Well, I guess that's not really a good philosophy, when you're claiming to speedrun something, but oh well. Yeah, not good. Losing money again. It all works out in the end, though. But I was a bit wary on some of the later days where there's a randomly generated attack. I was maybe the threat of the sort of higher penalties on the citations made me get a bit cautious. Oh yes, of course, the main thing on a day like this with no attack is just to make sure there's no one still in the booth at 6 o'clock. Otherwise, the day runs longer than it could do. So I just don't call the next person. Which must have been annoying for the next person in the line. They've been waiting there all day. Oh well. Oh, of course, yeah, starting the day, I'm just calling the first person as soon as possible to get the clock running, and then trying to sort of refamiliarise myself with what on earth is going on. Okay, usually I know in advance what to do with the first entrant. It's the start, but rather than faff about identifying that he's a wanted criminal, just let the lie through. Again, that's kind of a philosophy of this run, that because I'm going for ending 20, not doing any of the not doing any of the tasks for the rebels, just sort of pure jobs worth. By extension, that decided not to do any of the tasks to get the tokens by being nice to various people, because they might waste time by saying thank you. And things. So by extension of that, I decided why not go the whole hog, and I just won't let. Oh, that should be a denial because that's Alton District spelt wrong. That's the benefit of hindsight, that is. So yeah, here's the first token. That guy's wife through, but she doesn't have papers, and I don't want a citation, so unfortunately she's doomed. That's a shame. Go on, deny him. He says he's female. He's not a female. Well spotted. Stressful stuff is there. If you've played it, it's kind of stressful. Especially going through the whole thing in one run. The first time I played the game, I played through everything. I played through it all in one day, and I was getting citations left and right by the end. I just hadn't taken a break. I mean, on the one hand, I suppose that's not. You know, in the world of the game, the inspector is getting a break in between. You know, it's to take place over the course of a month. He's going home, going to sleep. But on the other hand, instead of 8-minute days, he's working 12 hours. I mean, if you see that clock runs from 6 in the morning to 6 at night, that's just unreasonable. So maybe he would have been that unfocused. See, I don't get any of the tokens, but I may help out a couple of people during the run. I think I only help Arstarsins, though, which kind of ties in with again ending 20, sort of very pro Arstarskin establishment, and everyone else can go to hell, I suppose. Trying to like on some of these. So passport numbers are different. That's good to see at a glance. Who's next? Timsky. Yep, same numbers. Third game date. Not too bad once you can sort of get into the rhythm of it. But I prefer to, well that's expired, I think to do 11:05, that's fine. I prefer to deny entrance because, well, it's the old, what was it, Chinese, or the sort of absence of evidence is not evidence of absence, or however it went. It's easier, you know, if you see something wrong with the paperwork, you can deny them. If you don't see something wrong with the paperwork, then either the paperwork is okay, or you just haven't seen the problem with it. That's the horrible moment when you're sort of staring at it. Well, I can't see something wrong with it, and the clock's ticking. You're waving through, and then you sort of, you're on 10 dogs waiting to hear that, whether you're going to hear that horrible printout as they're walking. Bane of my existence. So we're nearly at the end of day 3. No, day 5, sorry. What's the time zone? Yes. So, day 6 should be a bit more interesting. Got another scripted attack. It just throws me off when they've got different hairstyles. Okay, first booth upgrade. Don't forget to check the... Yes, well done. Get the upgrade. Okay, so this is a good day because I know I can pass the first 2. I have to figure out what 3 and 4 are. Then I know I can deny the 5th one. Well, all told, there's 5 out of 9 that I know in advance what to do. Passing the notes, but unfortunately this is a speedrun and I do not have time to read your note. So I think, this one sort of... I've got, as long as they talk, they've got to say what they're here for and how long they're staying, and you can't give them the paperwork back until they've done that. So that gives you sort of a few seconds to have a look and see if there's anything obviously wrong with the paperwork. But you don't, on a day like this, where you're just working your way through to the attack as quickly as possible, you don't want to worry about it too much. So yeah, a mistake there, but oh well. So remind me, you can't give this stuff back as soon as you think. So yeah, I think it's after the 9th entrant that should be the attacker, so I'm just, get this one out of the way as quickly as possible, because even if I get another citation, shouldn't get an actual penalty. And I've got enough time to wave the next one through as well. So here he is, the terrorist. It's not bad, a short day. Ordinarily, that would be a bad thing, you're worried about earning enough money to feed your wife and children, but in this case, I'm delighted. Get the afternoon off. So, it's a slow day because you've got to scan all the connections. Don't know whether I should have turned off the nudity. Please don't flag the video. Well, it's hardcore pornography. But yes, this is another this is another day with no attackers. In fact, there's nothing day 7 or day 8, so you might want to skip to day 9, about the 44-minute mark, because what I have to say in the meantime is only going. Let's face it, it's only going to get less interesting. So yeah, when someone forgets to give you their passport or another piece of paperwork, I believe the rule is that it might still have something wrong with it. Ah yeah, so that one there, passport says male, and you meant to question them about it, and then use the X-ray scanner to make sure. But here's a simple idea: just turf them out, just turn them away. It's not very politically correct, but here in Arstotzka we're very big on just rigidly defined binary gender roles. So I did that. I identified the contraband, but then I remembered I'm not detaining people either in this playthrough. Just purely on principle, because I feel it takes longer to detain someone than it does to just turn them away. I think I detained 3 people in the run, 2 of which. I think that's right. I think 2 of which are scripted, and 1 of them was by accident. So you've that hilarious blooper to look forward to. I had the wrong photograph. Easy to see at a glance. So yeah, I may have some of these gameplay mechanics wrong, but I think it's something like they can be missing a piece of paperwork, they can have a mistake on the paperwork, and they can make a verbal error. Which annoys me, they can make a verbal error, and so they say they're going to stay for, they come here, they've got a permit saying that they can stay for 2 days, and they go, oh yeah, I'm going to be here for 6 months, and what, you meant to question them? And they go, oh yeah, no, of course, I'm just staying for 2 days, I forgot. I mean, obviously, they're pulling a scam. That was a revealing mistake that they made. So, of course, earlier on, you can just turn them away. But then, later in the game, you have to give a reason. So, you're forced to question them on this, and they'll always correct their response. It's actually a less secure border if they start doing this. Because anyone who's doing that sort of nervous, stumbling over their words, clearly acting very suspicious, and they shouldn't be allowed in. Even though in actual fact people are sort of the people who are sort of taking the ferry his name back, very calm and collected about it. But I'm not interested in facts. I'm only interested in my sort of particular prejudiced view about things. How sheltered a life does someone live that they don't know what a passport is? Did they not speak? Did they not speak to anyone else in the queue, or like overhear anyone? I mean, what a waste! How long? How long these people are queuing? Is there not a sign? Have your passport ready? No, someone gets here and they not only don't have a passport, they claim to not know what one is, which I find frankly baffling. So we're almost at the end of another productive day. Oh, yeah, Patronovsky versus Gatranovsky. That may be entirely legitimate, but who cares? I can just turn away and I don't get a citation, so that's put my feet up. Have 15 minutes rest. See, I don't know why I did that just there. I waited for all the options to come up, but then I didn't bother unchecking food or heat. Oh well. So yeah, this is another full-length day, unfortunately. It's this is why, it is a silly game to try and speedrun, but I felt like it. I did this as a sort of single segment. If I'd run out of money and had a game over, I probably wouldn't have started over. I would have done it as a sort of segmented speedrun. But I think if you did it segmented, just sort of day by day, then you could really cheese your way through it, because there are days where you're really relying on the old random number generator, which, well, we'll get to that. So yeah, that was the first, so the Ezek guy, however you say it, with a cryptic message. Not going to be doing any of their tasks, but it's always nice to see them because it's just free money. They just hand you a piece of paper and you get paid 5 credits because it counts as an entrant, as an applicant. What do you call these people who come up with? An immigrant? Prospective immigrant? Anyway, so that was Coleman Directs just there. I would have thought Coleman was a man's name. It's got man in it. That should be the clue. Great Rapid isn't in Galicia. Yes, good catch. I don't know all of the issuing cities, but I do know Great Rapid is in the United Federation. I'm okay on. I know that Oberstan's got Skull, Lorndas, and Murderous. United Fed has got Great Rapid. No, I pretty can't remember off the top of my head, but I know when I see them. Impor has got Enkyo, something. and Haihan. Ostotska is east-west in Paradise Orvechvono. But yeah, I'm not so up on all of the others. Antigua, Glory, and St. Romero, and something else. And it's Repuglia has got True Glory, isn't it? Often when I'm playing, I've got the. You may regard this as a cheat, but I've often got the wiki page open. It's got all the issuing cities. But don't you think if you were doing this job, you'd have a post-it note up on the side of the booth just off screen with all that info on? So I think that's. I would argue that I'm role playing. It's a shame we can't develop the technology to just deny someone for not having a passport, but without asking them about it, because the risk of asking them about it is they might give you the passport. And as I said, if they give you the paperwork after you ask, that's the piece of paperwork that might have a problem with it. There will only ever be one discrepancy on the paperwork, which you would think. Oh, it's got two different names: Ansornovchek and Unsornovchek. Oh dear, should have checked on that. Well, I shouldn't do. I should have just turned them away. Orvechvono, not in import. Good catch. Actually, it doesn't even fit properly on the passport. It's a very bad forgery. So yeah, you'd think having multiple mistakes on the paperwork would be more difficult. You'd think, because then it would mean if you found a mistake. Right. Things I know. Because the developer has said it was too easy, like that, and I guess I can see that because there's two mistakes in it, and then you only have to find one, and you're going to be that much easier to spot. It does mean once you've found a mistake, you know that there's not going to be another one. It's where there's mistakes where you can still pass them through for it. You find yourself in a situation where you've got to search someone, so there's a discrepancy of the weights, and then you find out they're okay. You at least know then there's not going to be anything else wrong with the paperwork. So finally, get the upgrade to the stamp bar, which makes my job a lot easier. So I think we're now on OK. Day 9. It's a bit of a crucial day. This one of the few crucial days where there may be an attack, but it is not scripted. So I know that after about the first 9 entrants, someone will come at some point with mismatching weights, and my job is to let that person through in the hope that they will explode and cut the day short. I fall foul of this a couple of times in this game, but I don't think this is one of them. So firstly, I want to get the first 9 people through as quickly as possible. The other difficulty on this day is that there's not, there aren't any scripted, as far as I'm aware, there aren't any scripted entrants, so I'm starting to rack up. Ooh, bit of storyline. So here's some documents. And some fake documents, and I've got to keep track of them. Must not mix them up. Must not. Oh. Oh, no, see, this is bad luck already. I've got to waste time grilling this guy about his passport. Luckily, he doesn't have one. So yeah, I lied. There are scripted, and there are a couple of scripted entrants on this day. It's just not ones. I've just not got them on my cheat sheet because I've not got to make a decision about whether to pass or deny them. Because is this the guy? Okay, so it's definitely one of those. Okay, I'm free money though, so not to be sneezed at. Joe Van Gerbic. There's no way that's a real name. Noticed in the nick of time he had the wrong face. So I want to be fast, but I'm conscious of the oh god, that's the other script. I've got to dig out that. And I want to just get that back, but apparently you've got to open it first. I'm now getting a very untidy desk, which makes my job difficult. So yeah, that was the last scripted ending. So I know there's going to be a bomber, and I think it's going to have to be an Arstotzkan or someone with an Arstotzkan passport. So there's one, but the weights match, so it's not her. So my concern now is just getting these processed, get this data away as quickly as I can. Not time to really pay too much attention to the paperwork. And luckily, yes, ID says she's 60 kilos, but she actually weighs 63, so could be something dodgy going on there. And sure enough, the day is over, and it's not much past noon, so that's not too bad a result. But you see how you could abuse this if you did this as a segmented speedrun. You could just keep running that sort of day over and over until you got the result you wanted. Which I could say that'd be a bit cheap, but it sounds like a good idea, really, doesn't it? So here comes old Watson's face to slow the whole process down. "20 citations, that's not too bad, considering that how generally slack that show's been. So yeah, bad news, this is another boring day. There's not going to be an attack. Feel free to skip to the 57-minute mark, and there will be 6 days in a row with attacks that are valid for speedrunning, but this day is of a fixed length and thus of limited interest. Here's the first detention, because he refuses to listen to reason and intends to explode like a wild tiger. That doesn't happen. Tigers don't explode. But maybe someone was just being lost in the translation there. You ever wonder why everyone in this game sort of talks to each other in sort of broken English? You'd think they'd speak to each other. Maybe it's simplest for them to speak to each other in English if they've all got different languages, but you know, a conversation between two Ostotskans, they could speak their own. I assume Ostotskan would also be the language, I don't know. You know, and if we're viewing the translation of that conversation, it should be in perfectly good English. But maybe there's a lot of lead in the water supply or something, I don't know. Shouldn't have passed her eyes to spot the numbers with the fruit. I've become the you know, whoever it is who does the citations. I've become what I despise. Watching this back. But yeah, I hate when you know, I hate people who come in to work not because they're stealing jobs from decent Ostotskans, although you know it's part of it maybe subconsciously, but it's an extra piece of paperwork to check, and it just takes that much longer, and just the day just starts dragging on. Suddenly, I think that's probably the only. I may do that twice in the whole run. Somebody about to pass them, and I thought, is that the city in Galicia? It doesn't sound quite right. And sure enough, it wasn't. And you know, on a day where there was a possibility of an attack, I could never have wasted time doing that. But on this day, I've got nothing better to do. Now that plaque that the inspector gave me, I possibly made a mistake hanging it up so soon, because someone comments on it, and that takes time, obviously. I can't remember whether that happens. Well, if it doesn't happen today, and then it's probably on a day where time is of the essence. Oh, see how those keyboard shortcuts already coming into play. That was some pretty swift denial. That's a denial. That's a denial. Enter by November. Yes. Good. Good. Wait a minute. Did I just hear myself in the past? That's amazing. So yes, almost at the end of another scintillating day. I could have done a couple of now. I sort of think, yeah, I can probably get that one done. Just hope that it's fairly simple. Just having a quick look at the music cipher. Baffling, no idea what it could possibly mean. So, this is it's the day where forgeries start appearing, or forged stamps, and it's also another day with a randomly generated smuggler, terrorist type person. And it's the day where Georgie comes with correct paperwork, but I'm still turning him away. Oh dear. Always feel bad. Almost. But it did work. I would have felt awkward getting the Ogrestan token and none of the other ones. So yes, forgeries start coming through. There's I think the bulletin said that there was a break-in. Nothing important was stolen, but there's going to start being forgeries. And I don't quite understand the logic there. I mean, why did they need to break in to see what the stamps look like? And indeed, why make a forged stamp that looks different from the real one? So that's the guy I was meant to let in for Isaac, but I'm going for ending 20, so I'm not doing it. He doesn't look like a Sarah, so he has to go. Again, basically, if I can't see something wrong at a glance, then I'm granting entry. So that's the last scripted entrant, and we're now at the point where there could be an attacker. And I'm just interested in making that happen as quickly as possible. And fantastic, he's already got the wrong weight. And he's got the wrong weight as well. I denied him. I should probably send him through as an insurance policy, in case that guy was, just smuggling food or something and wasn't actually a bomber. That could have backfired on me. For the sake of yes, not taking these at me. But yeah, for the sake of another 5 credits for processing another entrant, I probably should have left that guy and probably should have kept that around the booth until I was sure the other guy was a bomber. So yeah, he's handing me this ID thing. He's got a sort of long code on it. I don't know what any of that means. He could be anyone. Have I seen anything like that? Well, that's sort of kind of more italic than things that I've been given, so I don't think it can be related. Please take your badge back, yes. So this is a good day for me because there is a guaranteed attack going to happen, and I just have to wave enough people through. I think at that point, at this point, if someone's got a work permit, there's not going to be time to look at 3 different things, so I'm just going to let them through and keep my fingers crossed. Okay, this guy's handy because he wants engineers, and I'm not going to be doing it because I can't be bothered, but it does mean there's going to be 4, over the next few days there are going to be 4 engineers coming in with guaranteed valid paperwork. Although you have to be a bit careful because sometimes they'll make a verbal mistake. Say they give the wrong amount of time that they're coming to work for. Yeah, I shouldn't have put that up because precious seconds lost right there. I feel sick. That's expired. I'm never quite sure when the attack's going to come. I've just gone through on the Papers, Please wiki, there's a guide to each day on there, and just cross-referenced it with a guide on GameFAQs. But some days I'm a little unclear. Is the attack going to be during the 9th person or after the 9th person? But yeah, I think it's going to be that person there. Yep, there they go. Oh, and it's not, I just let in the smuggler anyway. As an insurance policy. Nope. Nearly upgraded the apartment there, but keeping things lean, staying in the worst part. Look how cluttered this desk is getting. So just trying to simultaneously tidy up, process applicants, and familiarise myself with the rules for the day. Because this is another day with in fact we've now got 3 days in a row with randomly generated terrorist attacks. So this is where I'm supposed to be bringing my A game. Go away, Calix. You're holding up the queue. There are some days where this went better than on other days, and I can't quite remember which days were which, so we'll find out. See, I helped him out there, Regas, even though I got sedation. Helped him out, but I didn't get it. I didn't get a token for it. And I started asking, yeah, I made a mistake there, trying to put that banner thing in the corner, and the mouse went off the screen, and you know the rest. So again, I think my logic is kind of broken here on the way I'm doing this, because I'm looking at the weights to see, whether the weights match. Because if the weights don't match, then I want to pass them through in the hope that they'll bomb us. But if the weights do match, then I don't really have time to look to see if there's anything else wrong with the paperwork, so I might as well just pass them. As anyway, and hope that there's nothing else wrong with the paperwork. So wouldn't it be quicker just to pass everyone? Anyway, there's the bomber. Yeah, I think this is the day where they start having the most wanted bulletin, but I didn't bother. I forgot to even look at it because I knew I knew that there's a couple of script, like that first one was a wanted criminal, so there's a couple of scripted entrants that are wanted criminals, so I didn't even need to look at it. I do remember a bit later on to start having that out. Just one extra thing to worry about. Harbourjack, that's an interesting name. Harbourjack Oliver, gonna stay forever? I think you are. Would have preferred to just deny that one, but I'd already given the passport back. I've had that happen. It's annoying when that happens. You give the passport back, and only then do you realise there's a problem elsewhere in the paperwork. You just have to hope it's something you can either get cleared up or detain them for. Again, this guy could detain, but it's quicker just giving his stuff back. I mean, they could have a perfectly legitimate reason to have two passports. Maybe dual citizenship. His ID sometimes said he had glasses. He doesn't have glasses. That's the citation right there. Invalid thumbprint. I mean, if they knew he had an invalid thumbprint, how do they know he had an invalid thumbprint? I know you can't analyse the citation gameplay mechanism too much in obviously there wouldn't be much of a game there if you weren't accountable. But seriously, who is it? Who is it that's doing this? And if they know already whether the people are valid to enter or not, then so yeah, that was yeah, there's this by the way. It was a day where I have to let in two. There's a day where I let in a smuggler and they're not a bomber, and then I have to let in another one. But I don't think that was it. Oh, booth upgrade, double click, quick inspect. This was a mistake because I'm trying to be quick and I'm clicking around a lot, and I keep activating it by mistake. So yes, got the one to put those in now. Still so much. See, straight off the bat. So oh yeah, and then there's this hold up. On the one hand, if I let the bomb explode, we could end the day early, which would be good for speedrunning purposes, but on the other hand, I would be dead and the game would be over. So it's not really sustainable as a strategy. So yeah. That was a bit messy. I should have just, this is another day where I need to be getting stuff done quickly and not faffing about, not having time to look at 4 separate bits of paperwork. I mean, that's just ridiculous. This is basically a good day to try and enter the country on a work visa, because I just won't bother looking at it. I'll just stamp it. Oh, look at that! Two attempts we've opened that, and really my whole game just going to pieces. The stress, the pressure of getting this run right. It's just falling apart. On the positive side, the desk is looking a lot tidier now. Just got to get rid of those other business cards. I think I'll go back at some point to collect them. So yes, we're now definitely awaiting the Mad Bomber. I'm not sure what I'm playing I am, so I seem to be spending too long looking at people's paperwork. That says mail. Deny it. Oh dear. It's reality. It's the pressure of this job. And I think I'm starting to get nervous about getting more citations, because the more you know, there's another 5. I think the next one will be 10 credits, and they keep going up. And I don't know whether, you know, as I say, I didn't do a test run for this, so I've no idea how many citations I can sustain. And at this point I'm starting to get a little frustrated, because people keep coming through with the correct weight. Irritating. Yep, 10 credits penalty. So yeah, this is a frustrating day. Still no weight discrepancies. I mean, I'm on the 19th entrant. Another reason why doesn't make a lot of sense as a game to speedrun, because you know there's a point at which you're just at the mercy of the random number generator. But then, when has that ever been a sticking point? I mean, look at the Larry Jr. boss battle on Super Meat Boy. I mean, what's that bullshit? I get an invalid height. So close and yet so near. Finally, you know, finally an invalid weight. And there's another one. And I think, is this the one where it turns out not to even be... So I'm getting a bit wise here. I was like, okay, well I'll... Look at that. Appalling. He's not... I had two of them through. Just between those two people, 45 credits. That's like it's 9 of the. It's like a third of the day's wages just wiped out. Maybe more. Yeah, definitely more. So yeah, not a fantastic day. But this is okay. We've got a scripted attack today, and we've got a gun. So finally Calix is going to stop wasting our time. So yeah, how many scripted? No, there's only two. There's only 2 scripted entrants on this day. So the rest of them I've just got to use my best judgment. See, and I'm clicking around in a panic, and I keep activating the inspect mode. It was a mistake to buy that upgrade, I think. See again. made the classic mistake of giving the bribe before I've stamped the passport. Aha. What's his face? You're welcome for nothing. That's actually a direct translation of Glorious Dwarfstatska. So I think shortly we're going to be seeing an attack coming in. Here he comes. That's good. We're not even 3 hours into the day. Bang. Lucky for him, actually, I hit him with the tranquilizer because he was running towards the guys with real bullets. So, did him a favour, really. Okay, so just a heads up, this is another boring day. The next attack is on the next day, which is at about 1 hour, 30 minutes, 30 seconds. So that's new on this day. I don't think there's anything interesting about today. Oh well, unless you're interested in the storyline, which apparently I'm not. Yeah, my first playthrough, I didn't pass enough of the. I got the bad ending because I did some of the ESIC tasks but not all of them. I did the ones where they were very clear about what was supposed to be happening, but when they're handing me these ciphers, and my concern is getting enough people processed to try and feed a family. I didn't lose any family members. I was able to save up to escape with one other person. But yeah, I was just getting so many citations the first playthrough. Well, thanks to the opponent. What do you get for your, as thanks? You get executed for treason. So yes, we are at the point where the days are 8 minutes long now. And this is the final day where you can safely deny people without giving a reason. So I'm just making the most of that today. The guy in green there, the guard, whose name escapes me at the moment. There's a bit of a storyline with him, isn't there? With getting his fiancée or whatever into the country. And when I was planning out this run, I was assuming that I could play through that bit and get the reward. I was forgetting that he was going to be blown up in a terrorist attack due to my negligence. It was probably for the best. I didn't need the money. Oh yeah, this is the day where one of the days where I keep getting people who look a bit like the wanted criminals, but they're not them. She looks like that middle one, doesn't she? It's a woman with glasses. They all look the same. So yeah, I'm kind of taking my time. I think I'm zoning out a bit after the manic energy of the last previous few days. See, out of habit, I think I was about to start questioning her about her lack of glasses before I remembered, oh, I can just send her away. We're more than halfway through the run, isn't that amazing? Be sure to stick around for day 20. Things get just so fascinating there. Yeah, there's a big shortcut on day 20, which I think will be valid for any kind of sort of good ending speedrun, even if you're doing the ending 19, the ASIC ending. You don't have to do all of their tasks. You can fail one of them. Well, you can. That's not counting where they ask you to shoot that guy. You can fail that one anyway. Plus you can fail another one. Why are they gawping at that when he's clearly missing paperwork? I'm just slowly starting to unravel as this whole thing progresses. Luckily, almost at the end of another day. Cutting things a little fine, calling him into the booth with only half an hour to spare. Oh my god, I wonder what people in the queue are thinking when it takes you like half an hour to process a single applicant. Look at them shuffling away. They're despondent. Okay, so now is the day where we must give a reason for denying entry. There's a bit of weird scripting going on where the first few people have got something wrong until you give a reason. So the first person definitely has invalid paperwork, but if there's something wrong where you can detain them, so you've not even stamped their passport, then the second one will also be faulty. And it's slowing the whole process down now. So I guess the question is it better to worry about highlighting the discrepancies and taking the extra few seconds, or on a day like this, should I just be passing them all and just eating the citations? Citations. My pronunciation's a little off there. Cetaceans, that's dolphins, isn't it? And porpoises. Look at this woman yammering on. Does she not know that I'm trying to get through this as quickly as possible? And he have a different jump. He's so jump. Yeah, let's just pass him because it's just gonna take forever otherwise. And you've got to fingerprint him and stuff. Actually, I think you could just flag it up and deny him. You don't have to do the fingerprinting. Luckily, comes someone to cut the day short. So that was very sentimental of me getting the buying the crayons for the sun, because now I'm gonna have that drawing lying around the place. So yes, this is another full-length day. The only interesting thing about the day is that we deny everyone from import. It depends how interesting you find that. If the answer is not at all interesting, let's skip to the action-packed day 20, which is at about 1 hour 42 minutes. Although I'm sure there's going to be a hilarious blooper coming up later on today where I'm spend ages poring over someone's paperwork before realising, oh yeah, they've got an import, I should be just denying them straight off. So yeah, she's guaranteed correct paperwork. That's the only. There's only 2 scripted entrants today, and we've already had them. See, let the guy in front of him go, what an idiot. He got the wrong photo anyway, but that's two discrepancies in a way, isn't it? Because the wrong passport and the wrong photo. But I guess being from import doesn't count as a discrepancy in itself. Now I did Georgie a favour there by not having him detained. I'm a bit interested because he always comes on the last day and gives you some money, sort of as thanks. I mean, thanks for what? You could play through never letting him in, and always having him locked up. What, he's still going to come day 31. Hey, thanks for everything. So yeah, I had a sort of list of things I'm going to talk about during quieter moments of this, and yeah, I've already exhausted it. I'll tell you what, actually, you know, there was something else. The weights. You know, letting people through with weight discrepancies and that causing an explosion. I fell foul of that quite a lot during my first playthrough of the game because I simply didn't notice the readout, the weight readout on the bottom left of the, well, in the area on the bottom left of the screen, at the right of that, currently says 88 kilograms. I'm not sure why. Not sure why I didn't see it. I'm not sure what I thought I was supposed to be doing with the ID supplements. You know, I guess sort of it says 88 kilograms. Was I supposed to just look at him and think, yeah, that's about right? But there's a page in the in the rule book you see on the screen there that's sort of about it's all about the layout of the booth. And most of the stuff is labelled, but the weight readout is not labelled. And I'm not sure why that is. I know I'm not the only person to fall for this and not realise that, and take to have quite a few bombers coming through before. Oh yeah, is that what I'm actually looking at? And what I'm not sure is whether that's deliberate, because I know that the developer has said in regard to some things that it's kind of the way that it's kind of difficult and a lot of rules to remember, that it's meant to be because you the character have been just picked out of this job and thrown in at the deep end. You know, and it's not meant to be easy. Another one, look at him. He looks just like the. It's as if that criminal on the top has shaved his little soul patch off, and he's standing in front of me today, but apparently it's not him. But he is the wrong height, so he's not him. So yeah, it's meant to be difficult. There's a lot to keep track of, and ways to sort of slip up. So I'm not sure whether the weight readout not being clearly labelled or not very prominent, whether that's part of that, or whether it represents a design flaw in the game, or whether I'm just an idiot. It might well be that last one. So yeah, I've not been paying much attention to what's been happening on screen, I'm sure. Again, look at him. He's the same guy. With, he's slicked down his hair a bit, or he's stopped doing the comb over. But no, apparently not him. Anyway, yeah, I'm sure there's been some humorous moment where I was checking over all of someone's details before realising they were an Emporian. And we did see there was the person who I let into the country despite being from Empor. Direct contravention of the rules. Luckily that rule only lasts for the one day. Sun has drawn a picture. Ah. But I can't hang it up on the wall, or someone will start talking about it, and I'll get in trouble with with what's his face, the inspector guy. So it's just going to have to take up space on the desk for the rest of the game. Anyway, day 20. Very exciting day. It's charming. It's not 29 today, it's not too bad. Recognition of presence. Exactly. I turn up to work every day. So this is the main shortcut in the whole game. I don't really care what your paperwork says, you can come through. Okay, number 3 is from Ezek. Gives me some poison. And number 4, let's face it, is just very unlucky. But I mean, he did give an incorrect visit duration response, and therefore deserved to die. And my conscience is clear. Uh-oh, here comes the guard. This man is dead, very suspicious. I must go and question the man in the booth. Oh, he's dead too. I guess we'll call off the investigation. It's just one of them things. So yes, day 20, beaten in record time. There's a scripted attack here on day 21, which makes it another good day. So that ID supplement was out by a month, and it's only had a moustache, so in a month he's grown a big beard to go along with it. don't know whether you can get away with not fingerprinting the asylum seeker, not giving them the sheet for their fingerprints, but I guess I just didn't want to risk it. You may have seen I've got more than 500 credits or dollars or whatever you call them now, so I'm not too worried. Oh yeah, did that guy a favour. I'm always happy to do someone a favour when it means not letting them in the country, because apparently I don't like doing that. Now that's damning Laurel. I knew really that it wasn't. It wasn't the wanted criminal, but worth a look. So yeah, that saves a bit of time, because I would have otherwise had people yammering at me about the watch, wanting to buy the watch and stuff. It takes up time. You almost thought I forgot to in the hubbub, I forgot to give them a denial reason stamp. So that's on me really. Adrian. It's a woman's name. There's a similar plot point in Phoenix Wright, isn't there? It's a good thing I shot him with the non-lethal tranquilizer. I suppose I could have saved a couple of seconds by just clicking through and not adopting the niece, but I'm not a monster. So I've got a randomly generated attack bomb on this day, which is bad news for what's his face, green guy there. What is his name? That's bugging me now. The other guy was Kalinsk. I'll have to look that up, hang on. Seju. So, I don't know if it's I don't know what kind of a G that is. Oh, finally, this guy comes for his banner back. He was making the place so untidy. Oh, I think I spotted there that was spelled wrong, but you know, that used up precious seconds. So maybe you should have just eaten the cetacean porpoise thing. Isn't she one of the criminals? See, that's, it's only didn't even get a penalty. So I think now we're just waiting for good old weight discrepancy, and I'm not sure how long it's going to take. Bezarovich? Oh, I don't know. I mean, is it really the? Was it really the time for me to be nitpicking about that? I think this is where this playthrough falls down a bit. You know, I should have borne in mind that the reason why I saved up all that money was for days like this. But you know, I didn't do this for it to be perfect. I did it as a starting point, and you know, I would be delighted were someone to upload their own video and show me how it's really done. It's gone noon, still no sign of a bomber. Did notice that criminal at least. I usually move the bulletin to sort of hide the person I've already detained or noticed, but I guess I couldn't be bothered on this occasion. Finally, solar, and 4 kilos of plastic explosives or whatever. Good news for me, not so good for Sergio. Good news for Kalicia, apparently. Kalicia? Again, I don't know how you pronounce these names. So we've got another scripted attack today, as you can probably figure out by the presence of the mysterious, sinister man in red. Who this guy wants me to kill. Although if you let through the third Ezek agent, they say something like, "Oh, I disagree with my kind, I don't think the red person is a threat." So make of that what you will. So yeah, I think I'm sort of getting an idea here. I'm not spending so much time faffing about. Yeah, I thought she looked like one of the, as I passed her through, I thought she looked like one of the wanted criminals, but apparently not. Don't really see her after all. quite a lot of different endings on this day. I have some opinions about the endings, which I might go into in a bit. So, invalid work end date, that's an annoying one to get caught out by. But you feel so smug when you spot it. So another good day. Always love scripted attack. However, day 24. This was not a good day. Worst day in the entire run. So, okay, you got a confiscate passports. That's not relevant to why this was a bad day. So you got, I think, about 8 or 9 scripted, and yes, this is the second of 3 detentions in this playthrough. Second and final scripted mandatory one. Entry is not guaranteed. That's me trying to be badass there, clearly. Sort of ironic post-bludgeoning one-liner. Anyway, so I know there's going to be about sort of 8 or 9 scripted. 8 or 9. Each day has a secret sort of quota, because there's usually some like storyline people you've got to speak to. So even if you let the day run until 6, it will carry on until all those people have come through, and you just won't get paid for anyone who came in after 6. Although really, what are you doing to have not processed like 8 people by then? But yeah, after the quota, which on this day I think it's about 8 or 9. Again, I'm a little wishy-washy on the exact number. We're again waiting for a terrorist, as evidenced by a weight discrepancy caused by carrying bombs with which to explode people. But it's not always that simple. George made the classic mistake there of mentioning why bring up the wanted criminal bulletin. It's a sign of a guilty conscience. So, again, a day where I'm concerned with processing people as quickly as possible, but worried about getting too many citations. Obviously, that woman there with a work permit, just glanced over it. I didn't actually look at the entry permit. Just kept my fingers crossed. So I think this could be a day with quite a few citations. 9 kilograms, the weights match. Quick glance to see if there's anything else obviously wrong. No. Okay, let's think through. Let's see the next one. There was a mistake. Just have to live with it. And then the whole thing plays out again. Another person who looked a bit like one of those criminals, or looked like. I mean, well, the woman who just came through, if she had been in a terrible car accident, she might end up looking like the photo on the bulletin. I don't know what's going on with that person's face. I mean, there is anyone who looks like that. So, yeah, at this point I'm getting more than a little frustrated because it's almost 3 o'clock and I've still not had anyone with a weight discrepancy. Still sort of racking up these citations for wading people through, trying to get this person. But it's not going well. And you know, I'm this far in, I'm obviously, no matter how this goes, I'm not going to leave. I'm going to start again. I don't have the dedication, basically. I don't know. I don't want to seem like I'm. I don't want to phrase it in a way that seems to sort of belittle people who have the time to spend on doing speedruns. I think it's very impressive, and it's more that I'm too lazy to dedicate myself to such a sort of synergy things, sitting and playing a game as well as I can. Well, I'm glad there are people out there doing it. So yeah, finally, at about 5:45, there she is, the smuggler. But too late, the day's already over. Curious to know if she'd gone regards what Dave said. So yeah, worst day in the entire run, day 24. But now we're on another full-length day, but a day that can only be full-length because there is no attacker. In fact, there are only 3 more days left. They're going to have attacks in them. They're all scripted. So, to be honest, by this point, after that stupendously horrible day, there's not a lot left to this run. 7 more days left, 4 of which are going to be, by definition, 8 minutes long, and the rest of which it's just going to be a case of breezing through to the scripted attack. If you're happy to take that as read, by all means skip to the end. Day 31 starts at 2 hours 45 minutes 44 seconds. At the end of the run is about 2 hours 48. So yeah, the endings of this game, there are 20 endings, allegedly. They're all a bit, some of them are a bit slight, aren't they? Well, I guess it's more about the journey than the destinations. Even the good endings are fairly cursory. I think the most satisfying, I think narratively the most satisfying ending is probably either ending 18 or any of the endings where you escape to Obristan or Obristan. Again, we need a pronunciation guide. Is it United Federation or United Federation? We just can't be sure. But yeah, 20 endings, but some of them are just marginal variations on the same thing. And some of them are attainable only by doing ridiculous things. Oh yeah, here's Shay, here's Oscar. I let her through and get citation because otherwise Dimitri will yell at me at the end, and that will take up some time. So yeah, whenever an attack comes on the, as a, like, not a bomber, but a terrorist attack on some of the later days, you get access to the 2 guns. And there's an ending for, it's a bad ending if you get the tranquilizer gun out and just shoot someone in a queue. There's a bad ending for that, where you go to prison. And if you take the tranquilizer gun and shoot one of the guards, that's a bad ending. And there's one for if you take the real gun, the sniper rifle, and shoot one of the guards, or take it and shoot one of the people in the queue. Kind of seems like padding that those are all different endings. The only functional difference is what sentence you get. Whether you get sentenced to death or to hard labour or whatever, which I see it makes sense that they would be different. But it seems pushing it to have it where there's all these different endings where a lot of them are functionally almost identical. But maybe I'm nitpicking. This is the day where we deny anyone from the United Federation. I think this is... I was saying earlier where I thought there was going to be was going to waste time looking at an Emporian paperwork on the day where no one can come in from import. But I think it's actually today with the United Fed. We might have missed that. Well, I might have missed that. I'm sure you were paying more attention to the video than I was. But it's sad sack. Yeah, just consulting one of my citation slips there, and wondering whether I'm at the point where I'll be receiving penalties. Making a decision on how careful to be for the next few people. Yeah, I think at this point I've possibly decided to I thought I might be taking it easy, but no, I've actually invited someone else into the booth with only half an hour to spare. Cutting it a bit fine, then it's not like I really needed the money. I was trying to. I couldn't see how much money I had left there, but it's not going too badly even after some of the terrible days I've been having. So what are we on? Yeah, another short day because of a scripted attack. And don't have to worry too much about the citations because I know from my little cheat sheet that I can pass the third entrant without even so much as glancing over the paperwork. Oh, actually no, I can't. Well, I could have and should have turfed her out because it's Sergio who's Mrs. Spit. Sadly, he died. Actually, probably better that I did pass her, because so I don't have to worry about giving the reason. I suspect if quicker to give it a pass stamp than to be highlighting discrepancies. Where are we at? Yeah, and I know I'll be confiscating the passport of the 7th person, and then shortly after that the day will be ending. Maybe I shouldn't be confiscating the passports either. Maybe it'd be better to get a citation and not have to sit there and listen to the conversation about why we've taken the passport. I don't know whether it was this day or another day, but one time, not in another playthrough, I got the gun out and I completely missed all the terrorists, and they came and killed me. It was embarrassing. So yeah, things slow right down on this day, because reason being, because I've got this spreadsheet I was referring to, and on that I've got written for each day, well, where appropriate, about how many applicants you've got to process before there can be an attack, and what type of attack it is, whether it's a scripted attack or just a possible attack. And where there's a scripted attack, I put it in bold, just for ease of visibility. But this is day 27, and I know, as I started day 27, I noticed that on day 28, I've got written down after 6 people, scripted attack. But it's not in bold. So did I mean scripted, or is it a randomly generated attack? Could kind of do with knowing this. So for part of this day, things are kind of slowing down a bit, because as I'm doing this, I'm trying to look it up on my phone, and it turned out, yes, that the day after this is a scripted attack. So there was nothing to worry about after all. But yeah, if you want to see that attack, skip past any of this. It's that day starts at the around the 2-hour 25-minute mark. I'm just the worst immigration official. I'm identifying these wanted criminals, but not having them arrested, because I'm just unwilling to spend the extra few seconds. So yeah, I guess I'm also using this day as just a bit of an opportunity to take it easy. You know, it's good. You can speedrun this game, but you don't have to be on the whole time. You don't have to be sort of oh yeah, the heights. I don't know why I queried that height. It was pretty much spot on, but I'm never quite sure the height. Sometimes it looks to me like people have got a discrepancy of about 5 centimeters, but it turns out that it doesn't count as being the game doesn't count it as a discrepancy. I was quite pleased with myself there for catching that forgery. Sixth sense kicked in, because I do forget to look at the. It's the one thing that it's quite easy for them to catch me out on. If you look at it, they do kind of stick out like a sore thumb, forgeries. Mostly. You just got to remember that the square stamps have never got the initials on them. Yeah, I'm really taking my time on this now, aren't I? No polio vaccination, that's in the one. I think once you've been caught out on that once, you realise it's something to keep an eye out for. Just remembering the fact that it is polio, and that's the specific one you're looking out for. Yeah, when you first play this, you don't question whether you should be, if there's a discrepancy in someone's appearance. It doesn't occur, or it certainly didn't occur to me, that you could just deny them. You feel like you've got to bring it up and ask them about it, and then the option comes up to fingerprint them. And it still didn't occur to me, well, you could just not bother, just send them away. But no, it's still fingerprint them, and it's tricky as well. I think that's another one that sort of trips people up a bit, because the reason being because the way you get the printouts. The slip appears, you've got to give them the fingerprinting. You give it to them, and probably you give it to them straight away, and that's around about the same time as printout appears. So I guess it's easy to make a mistake, first off, to think that that's a printout of their fingerprints that they've just given you, even though I suppose that would make no sense whatsoever for their fingerprints to come out on a computer printout. Oh good, it's the end of the day, I can stop talking about that. So... Day 28, during which there is, as previously discussed, a scripted attack, and it's also the day in which we start confiscating all Arstotzkan passports, a fact which will cause me to inadvertently detain someone when I was intending not to do that, although I don't think that happens on this day. I hope not anyway, that's just more wasted time. So yeah, faffing about with oh yeah, that's a scripted one as well, I don't know why. I'm got that in my notes to deny the third entrant. I maybe should have had it written down, but it's because of them having the old entry permit and ID supplements. Because I was gawping at that paperwork for a fair few seconds there before I twigged. I should maybe just be sending everyone through. That Joker putting his gym flyer on top of his ID card, so I couldn't see it to put it even back. That and other factors are what keep this from being a truly first-rate speedrun. So, comes the baddie. Again, not entirely sure how shooting the motorcyclist with a tranquilizer gun causes the bike to instantly explode. I always get him mixed up with Dimitri. He's a different guy. So yeah, we've got 2 days of West Creston. That's not a place. Oh, am I going to spot it? Pouring over the... suddenly I see that something was amiss. So yes, this day and the following day is just... what's this guy again? Interesting thing I learned, again from the work here. I have no specialist knowledge here. There's a glitch to get 2 passports. You get the sort of the slip, the complicated document slip. Take the passport back out of the drawer, and suddenly 2 passports. I think I'm just showcasing that, and just in case I suddenly change my mind and we're going for an ending 18 run. I think if you're doing ending 18, I think it would be a valid strategy to kill off members of the family. You could starve the family until, because the son will die first because he's only frail. You refuse to take in the niece, and I think, well, I tried it because I wanted to get all the endings, so I did the thing of not feeding the family, or not buying food or heat or medicine, and I think they all died at different times. I think the uncle died last. Is it the uncle or someone? So you could do that. Spend the early game killing off members of the family, selectively allowing the medicine. And then if you get to this point and there's only you and one other person alive, then you've already got 2 passports and probably enough money because you're not going to spend all that money on food, and to get ending 18 at the end of this day. So I think that'd be a valid strategy. I think that's why I'm specifically saying this is an ending 20 speed run, because it's not the fastest run possible. But yeah, if you're saying you can get any ending, then obviously, as has been demonstrated by another player, that you can just lose at the end of day 1, and that counts as finishing the game technically. You see, I just could not wait for that guy to stop talking so I could call the next person. It's just very morally problematic, this whole run. You get these people coming through and the photos don't match, and you question them on it, and they go, "Oh, I had surgery," and I'm like, "What? You had plastic surgery to make yourself look really fat and ugly?" I don't think I believe you. Yeah, pro tip for this day 29. You get the wanted bulletin, 3 criminals. You don't have to. You can position it like so, not looking at the top one, because that's Simon Wen, and he's not going to come through until the next day. That's a little hint there. You can have that for free. Oh, wet Grestin. I like that one. It's a new one. And I'd already passed him. But for good measure, I just want to make absolute that's clear now that he's not welcome. If you have been watching this through and you're feeling cheated, which I wouldn't blame you, do bear in mind this isn't live. This is post commentary, so I spent all the time playing this, and I spent doubling amount of time again, to also watch it back. So it's fairly clear who the real loser is in this scenario. Yeah, final entrant of the day, and I just sort of, let's just double check everything, just to be sure. And then have a little coffee break. Tidy up. So here we are, it's the penultimate day. Comes Dimitri, I think. Again, that's because I get him mixed up with the other, sort of sinister guy. I'm always a bit thrown when that the other guy's going to say, "We'll be auditing you in a few days," and then the next day, he comes in. But yeah, this is the point at which he would have had a go at me if I hadn't met Shay, Piotrowska, and so it's worth taking the citation on that day just to save a few precious seconds. I've not gone into a full analysis of all the dialogues. Like obviously there was that mistake during the run where I'd left the plaque up on the wall and someone started talking about it. So it's entirely possible there are efficiency savings to be made. Like I say, when Sergio comes in to talk about how many people you've detained, I don't know, maybe it's quicker to detain a certain amount of people. Maybe his speech is shorter, I don't know. I'll leave that as an exercise for the viewer. Keenan? Oh, here it goes, or whatever it was. Yeah, the run is basically over at this point because all there is to do is finish this day at 6 on the dot, and then day 31 is the scripted attack from the Ezek terrorists, which is what they are. They are in no sense freedom fighters. But honestly, that guy comes in saying, "I've come here to work." Obviously, Freudian slip. And then call him out on it, and they're suddenly saying, "Oh yeah, no, I'm just visiting. I'm not going to be doing any illegal work or anything," and you've got no choice but to believe him. Schoolboy error now, so I knew for a fact that I could deny her, and was such a rush to do so, I forgot to stamp the reason for denial. But it doesn't really matter at this point. Now that's an entirely different name. I'm willing to believe that even if I bothered fingerprinting it, it would have been... I can buy someone having a different surname, because they might have got married or something. I can buy them having a different first name, because they might not like their first name. Some people don't like their first name, they go by the middle name instead. That's why it's not a good idea to give a kid a middle name. Because, you know, the perfectly good first name you picked out for them, you know, spent long and hard thinking about it, and you're giving them an opportunity to just throw it back in your face. And there's the accidental third detention there, because his dates didn't match, and I was confiscating the passport, and when I tried to close the door, I clicked the button to detain him, and oh, it was just... We all had a good laugh about it afterwards. I was suddenly unsure whether that was the right logo for the work pass, but it was legit, so... And then he didn't have a vaccine certificate anyway, except he did, and just forgot to... He's got the certificate with him. He clearly knew that he had to hand it over. Why didn't he do it? Must be some sort of anarchist. So yeah, we're on the home stretch now. Well, no, we're confiscating all these Arstotzka passports. Why do we need Obristan passports to flee to Obristan? Why couldn't we go there on Arstotzkan passports and then just sort out, you know, forged paperwork or whatever when we get there? It takes a bit of the pressure off. We're rolling in Arstotzkan passports. I think you meant to pronounce it Arstotzka. I saw it. I'm sure there's a frequently asked questions thing where it gives a link to the gives a link to sort of Google Translate giving a pronunciation of it, which is meant to be correct. Anyway, final day. And as it's a scripted attack, I have nothing more to worry about financially. I'm just going to be letting everyone through, because who's got time to actually look at anything? Except I was going to be doing that, except it would help if people give me a passport. Again, you can't, you know, losing a couple of seconds, you're at the there's an extent to which you're at the mercy of the random number generator. And I'm surprised actually I'd bothered to confiscate that passport there, because I'm just losing more time. I'm getting a citation anyway, so I might as well just let them through, and you know, if I'm going to get a citation, might as well save the time, not be confiscating stuff. See, that's what I want to see. Giving them back the stuff before they even have a chance to finish talking. That's the quickest possible it would have been to process that person. Waiting line to say thank you for me never letting him into the country ever. But I didn't arrest him, so I guess we're even Stevens. You can't get a fingerprint. So we should be seeing imminently. There he is. Right on cue. It's a shame we're not allowed to open the gun cabinet. We could have saved some of those guards, but oh well. That's it. The end of the run. Little cheat code for you if you want it. So yes, 2 hours, 48 minutes, 3 seconds, and I'm sure that could be much improved on. I'm sure I lost many minutes on days where the random terrorist attack just refused to arrive. And yes, just to stave off any suggestion of fakery. There's my save games along the bottom there. It was all one run. No digital editing magic was involved. I mean, I'm sure it would be possible to fake it, but I hope you're willing to believe I wouldn't have the time or inclination. Anyway, that's that. Select what I can only assume is the Arstotzkan national anthem plays out.